Right, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon and welcome to Langtree Park for this exciting announcement in the next step of this boxer's career. What I'll very quickly do is just introduce you to the top table. Firstly, on my far right is Andrew McHale. He's manager and business advisor to Martin. Nearest to me here is Hatton's director of boxing, Mr. Richard Fox, and he's to host the conference in just a second. And the reason why you're here this afternoon, the man in the middle, he's had a great 7-year professional career. He's entered the ring 28 times as a professional boxer, got a great record of 26 victories, 11 by the way of KO, 3 inside the first round as well. He's only got 1 draw, 1 defeat on his record, and he's the reason why we're all here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to please welcome Martin Murray.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us this lunchtime. A couple of things before we start. I'd like to thank the management and staff of St Helens Rugby Club, Langtree Park, for letting us host it here and using their fantastic facilities. Secondly, just a quick one, Ricky's apologised that he can't make it today due to illness, so he won't be joining us. What we're here to listen to today and hear all about is a big opportunity that's presented itself for Martin Murray on February 1st in Monte Carlo. Martin will challenge for what will be the vacant WBA middleweight title against Australia's Jarrod Fletcher at the Salle d'Etoile, which is in Monte Carlo, and it will be supporting the main event, which will be the super champion Gennady Golovkin against Adamo, which again is a great fight. Everybody who knows boxing and middleweight boxing, you know, there's 3 or 4 names right at the top of the tree. There's Golovkin, Martinez, Martin, not Darren Barker now, maybe Felix Stern, and 1 or 2 others. So to have 2 on 1 bill is absolutely a fantastic achievement for everybody involved, and it'll make for an absolutely fantastic show. I'll just quickly, because a lot of people are asking us about tickets. Tickets are very expensive. They start at €150 and they will be available to buy through the box office here. We originally asked for 150 tickets and we've doubled that request, but I've not heard back yet on whether or not that's possible, but we will keep people in touch with what's happening there. Jarrod Fletcher, a very, very good operator from Australia. Unfortunately, probably people here know him for the 1 blemish on his record, which was against Billy Joe Saunders when he just got caught and done in the 2nd round. Since then, he's reeled off 5 really good wins, and he's the man who's the WBA Executive Committee have said Martin has to face to win the vacant title. So I'll pass you over to Martin, who'll tell you a bit about the fight, tell you a bit about his thoughts on Jarrod Fletcher and his preparation for the fight.
Yeah, thanks to everyone for coming. Looking forward to this fight. Obviously been unlucky twice before, and I'm just made up that I've got this opportunity now on February 1st. The lad I'm fighting, Jarrod Fletcher, he's a good kid. I've not seen that much of him, to be honest with you, but we're going to get working on that now that we know definitely that we're going to be fighting him. He's got good pedigree, amateurs. I've been told to beat James DeGale at amateurs, which isn't easy, so it proves that he's a good fighter, good pedigree, and yeah, he's going to be well up for this. I should imagine that I'm going to be the favourite going into it, and rightly so from who I've fought and how I've done against them, so a lot of people could be saying that it's going to be an easy fight, but I'm not going to be taking it like that. He's going to be coming over to win, just like I am. It's for a world title, and it's going to mean just as much to me as it will to him, so he's going to be well up for it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but just want to let everyone know now that there's no way I'm coming back from Monte Carlo without that world title. It's coming back with men, it's coming back to St Helens, and it's as simple as that.
A lot of people talk about world title fights and opponents, and you know, I've already seen 1 or 2 people saying, oh well, Jarrod Fletcher this and that, but you know, Hatton Promotions and Martin Murray can only box, or the WBA will allow him to box for the vacant title, and that's Jarrod Fletcher. And the one thing, I can't give you many certainties in life, but the one I can give you is Jarrod Fletcher will be coming to that fight and coming to Monte Carlo with every single intention of taking the world title back to Australia. So at this level, you know, you're talking your percent difference between the different champions and the contenders. So don't anybody be under any mistake that this is a walk in the park or he's just got to turn up, because that's how people slip on banana skins and come back with nothing. This is a proper fight for a proper world title, and Jarrod Fletcher won't be thinking about money or opportunity. He will be training now as we speak somewhere with the sole intention of beating Martin Murray on February 1st. So it's a great fight on a great prestigious bill, and it'll give people up close and personal the chance, whether watching it on TV or lucky enough to be there on the night, to compare Martin against Golovkin. People have seen Martin against Martinez. Now Martin and Golovkin will be boxing maybe half an hour apart, and it'll give people that opportunity to rate who they think's the best and go on from there. So that's basically it on the fight and where it'll be. So if there's any questions anybody's got for Martin, we're open to the floor.
8 months of frustration going into this camp for this fight,
yeah, it is. Obviously fighting in April on such a massive show, and then have everything happen what's happened to me over these past couple of months, it has been frustrating. The performance on Saturday didn't reflect myself or my team in any way whatsoever. It was very flat, and the most important thing about Saturday was just getting the win. But yeah, that's done that now, you know, all that aside, and I'm just going to carry on everything straight through to February 1st. There is a lot of frustrations going into it, but you know, it's all going to be put into a positive form, and I'm going to put it into good use on 1st of February.
When you start camp?
To be honest with you, I've not really stopped since June. Maybe that could explain why I was shockingly flat on Saturday. But just having a wind down now, just recovering proper. Got a great new team on board who's helping me do all that. So just having a week of recovering, and then we're just going to hit it again from next week. So gives us 6 weeks, and yeah, that'll be plenty enough time.
You've got 2 cracks at the title already. Being the favourite for this one, does it affect or alter your way to approach this one?
Not really. To be honest with you, every fight I always train hard, regardless of who it is or who I'm fighting. I mean, the good thing is about this fight is that it's going to be on neutral soil with me going over there, and him obviously being from Australia, so I'm going to get a fair crack at the whip, and I think whatever happens on February 1st, the person who wins the fight, you know, it will be the right decision. There'll be nothing dodgy going on, so I've not got that to think about going into this fight. But like I've said, you know, the most important thing has always been for me to become world champion. I've been close twice before, and there's no way that belt's not coming back with me on February 1st. No way, it's coming with me. I'm going to train as hard as I've ever trained for this fight, and yeah, I'm looking forward to bringing it back to St Helens.
Question to Andrew. What was your assessment of Martin's health leading up to his last fight, and do you think he's 100% recovered from the virus yet?
Well, that's a good question actually, because Martin's been very diplomatic how he's answered that. But it's obvious to me, because I speak to Martin on a daily basis and see him probably 3 times a week. Up until the illness, he was firing on all cylinders. Probably the best shape I've ever seen him. The virus struck him, and that took a hell of a lot out of him. I don't want to sit here and make excuses like Martin probably doesn't want me to, but he had 2 massive doses of antibiotics. Saying all that, we went to see the doctor quite a few times, and he gave us the green light the week before this fight to say, you know, he was happy with it. But unfortunately, no matter how hard you train, until you're actually in the ring under the pressure, getting hit with proper punches, you don't really know how your body's going to react. And Oliver made that quite obvious in the first round when I was sat close by. Oliver said, how's your body feeling in the first and the second round? And I think, well, I know from after the fight, Oliver was worried. Oliver was worried a little bit, you know, like he wasn't himself. And we can all see that, because you've seen 2 probably of the best performances you're ever going to see from middleweight in this country against Martinez. And really, the question that you mentioned before about Jarrod Fletcher, this guy's coming to win. Well, nobody knew Martin Murray's name before he went to Stern. We did locally, and then to move on from that, to do the performance, to knock down twice Sergio Martinez, I don't think he's got anything more to prove. Yeah, he was flat. Yeah, there's a reason why, but I'm 100% positive. Come the 1st of February, you'll see the greatest and the best Martin Murray you'll ever see.
Martin, assuming you win, which obviously we all hope you do, you've got one draw and one loss. Would you like to avenge those decisions?
Definitely, Speaker. Yeah, I mean, got to be honest with you. I think the Martinez one's just a no. No. I don't think that's ever going to happen again. He's made it pretty obvious from the fight that he's not even entertaining my name. So I don't think that's going to happen. But now that Stern's the IBF, if all goes well, I'm going to be the WBA World Champion on February 1st. And we did get a draw, that is unfinished business, and I think that a fight between me and Stern does make sense. So that's definitely a wrong I'd like to put right. And like I said, hopefully all goes well on February 1st, and then I can look at them type of fight. I know that's Stern. I don't know what he's doing now. But he has said in his interview after that, I am someone he's thinking about, and basically he's thinking along the same lines as me. There's a blemish on his record that he wants put right. So hopefully next year they're the type of fights he can be involved in. But first and foremost, I've got to get past Jarrod Fletcher on 1st of February.
You mentioned that we'd be able to compare Golovkin to Martin. We've been fighting half an hour apart. Is that a fight that we maybe look at in the future if you're gaining the WBA title?
There's every chance, yeah. There's only so many kids at that top level. Like Martin's just mentioned about Stern. Stern's in a tricky position for a bit, and he'll not. I've got a very good relationship with Carson at Youth for Sport, but they're tied into a rematch clause with Darren Barker, and until Darren decides, rightly what he wants to do once he's recovered, I believe he's having an operation, I think this week or next week on his hip. Once he sits with Tony Sims, he'll have a chat and decide what he wants to do. But unless Darren's absolutely 100% fit, I don't believe Tony would let him carry on anyway, but that's a choice they've got to make. But until that time, Stern can't do anything to select him to a rematch. Like Martin says, Martinez, it's unlikely that's going to happen again. I believe he's looking at Miguel Cotto sometime towards mid next year, so that's that tied up. So, and then there's domestic kids. Like I said, Darren's got beat, and I don't know what he's going to do. Macklin seems to be doing his own thing in America at the moment, which presents a problem for us. So, there's big fights out there. Big fights out there, and it's just sometimes you just got to wait till the sand settles and see where everything falls. But I'm sure if Felix, if they don't exercise the rematch clause with Darren, I'm sure that's a fight that we'll be looking at. Thanks to everybody for attending. Thanks for everybody for your time today. Again, thank you to St Helens Rugby Club for welcoming us so warmly and hosting everything. If you want any photographs, I believe there's somewhere that they're going to wish you up now to take some pictures of Martin and Andrew before the fight. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.